In this portion of the course, we're going to discuss custom sewing. So custom sewing literally means that you're sewing custom for clients. So it'll mean clients will be coming to you whether you rent a facility or you do it out of a sewing space in your home. You could also consider pattern making as a business if you have the skills. If you have pattern making skills, there are a lot of people who like to sew for themselves but don't know how to fit or how to make a pattern fit themselves. So that's also another aspect of sewing business. Now, if you're going to be a custom clothier, you need to know how to fit and how to alter patterns. You'll have clients who are going to be meticulous about it. That's why they came to you. They want the garment to fit properly. So if you don't have any fitting experience or education, now's the time to get it. You may be an excellent seamstress, and now that you've got the Islander techniques, you can do it fast, but if it doesn't fit, it's not going to do you any good. So make sure that you've got those skills honed down, and again, with the Islander systems, you'll be able to do it faster, so that's going to help you with your profit margins. Next, we like to talk about marketing. How do you market yourself? You've decided to be a custom clothier, you've got your education, you've done all your business that we talked about, gotten all your ducks in a row, got your bookkeeper, you've gone to the bank, got your checking account, now you're ready to go, but where do I get customers? Okay, key to getting customers who can afford to have custom clothing made is to market places where that type of customer is. If you live in a middle-class, blue-collar neighborhood, chances are the people in your neighborhood may want custom clothing done, but they are not going to be able to afford the prices that you have to charge in order to make a living. Never apologize for what you have to charge, but you do have to make a living. So you have to consider how much the materials cost you and how many hours you have to put in to making the garment. So we will have a nice worksheet for you as an example, not one to specifically create your prices from, but you'll need to have a price list. When I come to you and you're a custom clothier, and let's say that you're in your home, well, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not a brick and mortar specific storefront type of business. So now maybe as a customer, I'm a little skeptical. I want to make sure you know what you're doing. When I say to you, well, here's the garment I want made, and you say off the top of your head, well, that'll be $350. I'm a little skeptical now. I want to know, where did you come up with those figures? So it's a really great idea to have a price list. This is how much it costs to have a zipper put in. This is how much it costs for a hem per inch. These, for altering the waist on a garment, it'll be this much. When you go to a bridal salon, they have all that worked out, and they've determined how much time it's going to take and how many raw materials they might have to use, and it's already figured in. So you can sit down with that customer who wants that specific garment and show the checklist as you create the contract with them. What's really important in today's business is social media marketing. It is constantly changing, so you will need to work to stay on top of it, but it's the best marketing you're going to find for free. You'll need a Facebook account for sure. You may want to go off into other ones such as Pinterest and Instagram and Twitter. You'll find which one works the best for you and your lifestyle and your personality. But marketing for free is something that I didn't have when I started my businesses. We had to pay for print advertising, and then we had to hope that it was doing us some good because we had no idea what was working and what wasn't. So we just kept shelling out more and more money for direct marketing, direct mailing, or print advertising, where now when you have the online aspect of social media, you can get out there and interact and find new customers with clever techniques that are available in online classes. There's free classes on social media. There's books written about it. There is a lot of information out there, but it is changing on a regular basis, so you do need to stay up on it. But I can't stress enough how important it is and how thrilled I am using social media, because every time I do, I keep saying to myself, this is free. This is free marketing, and you can use analytics. There's Google Analytics and Facebook Insights that can tell you, did that post that I posted last week, did it get me a customer? Did it get me a new like on my Facebook site? If you get your customers continuing to be engaged with your Facebook and you want to run a special, or you just want to keep them engaged, they'll remember who you are, and when they need your services, there you'll be. You'll be the first one at the top of their list. So if you're not already really familiar with marketing on social media, get out there and educate yourself. And by all means, do not skip it. It is very important. Now, you'll also want to have a contract. And in that contract, you'll want to outline everything you want across in the price list. And when the customer sees you have a professional price list, oh, now I'm not so skeptical. Now I see that she's a business person and she's got all of her plans in place. Now you want a contract with that customer that says you will pay a percentage down before I ever buy a piece of fabric, before I ever cut into anything. I want 50% down. That's a fair and reasonable thing to ask. Then you want to outline how the process will go from that point forward. If you're just doing alterations, you'll probably only see that client twice for that particular transaction. They'll come in, they'll try the slacks on, you'll pin up the hem, and they'll come back and pick them up. But when you have a garment that you're making specifically, they're going to come to you more than once. Let's say you're doing bridal. Bridal usually requires 2 to 3 fittings. The first time they come to you, you'll do all their measurements, you'll discuss the garment, you'll come up with a price, and then you'll have a contract that will say how many appointments that you will be expecting and how those appointments are anticipated. Those appointments should be outlined as to the ramifications of not showing up for the appointment. So in other words, I made an appointment with bride Jane, and she's supposed to come on Tuesday at 4 o'clock for a fitting, and she decided to go with her friends after work to the bar instead. And now I'm sitting here at 4 o'clock, I put everything else aside and I'm waiting for her and she doesn't show up. Not fair, and it costs you money. It's not just about not being fair, it's about the fact that you could have been producing something else, been doing any number of things that would be of profit making. So you need to let the bride, Jane, know that if she doesn't give you a 24-hour notice, and you set these rules yourself, but this is just a suggestion, she doesn't give you a 24-hour notice to change your appointment or to cancel it, there will be a fine. There will be an additional cost added to her contract. This needs to be in the contract now, but let's say it's $50. Well, you know, maybe I'll skip going to the bar with my friends because this is going to cost me $50 if I don't show up for this appointment. So it just keeps everybody honest and fair with each other. The other thing is, again, do not start anything without a 50% deposit, and certainly do not let anything out of your hands until you've been paid in full. I could tell you horror story after horror story where the bride, the mother of the bride, the bridesmaid, whoever it was, had this, oh, I forgot my checkbook, I'll be right back, I'll put it in the mail, and you've developed a little bit of a relationship with this person and you think, oh yeah, they'll do that, and then they never do it. And then you hunt them down and you end up on Judge Judy trying to get your money. So you just don't want that aggravation. So make sure you don't let the garment out of your hand without payment in full. And again, that should be written on the contract that the customer signs at the initial appointment, so she can't say, well, you never told me that. This is the way it works. Another thing that you want to take into consideration when you're making a contract to do custom sewing for someone is weight gain or loss. Most often, especially when you're talking about a big special occasion like a wedding, things happen between you start the gown 6 months in advance and the bride comes 6 weeks before and she goes to put it on and it's either way too big or way too small. She needs to understand that you're really happy for her if she lost a lot of weight, but now you've got 6 more hours you have to put into that garment that you had finished. But now you have to take it apart, and trust me, people who don't know how to sew do not understand that at all. They do not understand how much work it is to take something apart and rework it. And if she's gained weight, you're in even worse shape because you may not be able to let it out enough, or you may have to recut the bodice. Lots of pitfalls to keep in mind. So let the customer know that if her body type should change between the time that you started the garment and she came to pick it up, those alterations will be on her, not on you. Another thing that's really, really important with formal wear is that the bride or the customer be wearing the proper undergarments. Drive this home like there's no tomorrow. You have to go out and buy that strapless long line bra or whatever it is. I want you in that in those undergarments so that I can make sure when I custom make this dress to fit you perfectly on your very special day that it's going to look just as perfect as you want it to. And that's the way to achieve that. And I tell you all these things because these are the things that I've seen go wrong in custom clothing. So keep all of those things in mind. Get your contract together. You can desktop publish a contract. You don't need a lot of legalese. You just need a contract that says, I, the customer, agree to the terms, and you need to have all those terms outlined, and don't skip, don't be talked into other alternatives. Stay strict, they'll respect you for it, and you'll end up having less problems to deal with in the long run. So if you're going into custom clothing, I wish you a fabulous success in business. And remember, there's lots of books that have been written by people who are in that business or have been for many years. And I'll have some of those on the resource list, but you may find some others yourself. But again, I can't stress enough how important it is to ask somebody who's gone before you where they were successful and where they had problems so that you can capitalize on their experiences. So good luck with custom clothing. I wish you wonderful success.